Alright guys, so it's been a while since I've actually updated the PvE tier list for Cookie Run Kingdom. And so we're going to update it with the new cookies like Red Osmanthus, Golden Osmanthus, Camillia, Green Tea Mousse, Choco Drizzle, as well as pulling out of mode. So we have 6 new cookies that we need to add to the PvE tier list. And I gotta say, some of these cookies are actually really good right now inside of the PvE section. And just to make it clear, this actually does not include the guild boss battle. It's because of the fact that guild boss battle does require specific cookies for you to actually get a pretty decent amount of damage output. So that's the reason why I don't actually include like the effect of, you know, guild boss battle to some of these cookies, because if I do, it actually inflates their rating more than it should. So that's the reason why I kind of try to stay away from the guild boss battle stuff. And if I ever do, then either make a separate tier list for that or just make a separate video talking about them. So hopefully you guys can watch out for those videos. Hopefully I actually do make it soon, but just keep that in mind. It's mainly considering the world exploration BC's episodes like the Cake Tower and like Cookie Alliance and things like that, because most of those contents are very similar. But PvE tier list, guys, excluding the arena, let's get into it. Of course, this is going to be my opinion and from my experience as well. So first of all, stay away tier is going to stay the same as before. Of course, again, we don't have any magic candies coming out for any of these cookies anytime soon as of right now. So hopefully when they do get a magic candy, they can become a little bit better. Moving on is going to be the C tier, from Candy Diver to Sparkling. None of these cookies have received the magic candy except for our milk cookie, and still pretty bad for the world exploration. A lot of the outdated cookies as of right now, as you guys can see. So hopefully they do get some more love down the line, get a little taste of revival once they do receive a magic candy. And then the next one is going to be the B tier, from Kumio all the way down to our Cherry Blossom. So a lot of these cookies are also pretty outdated, or they were just kind of specific for certain like events or certain bosses. Example is something like Matcha. Matcha is actually really good for certain events bosses, but considering like the other world exploration parts, the reason why it's not really good is because it takes specific teams to actually make Matcha like really good as a supporting cookie with all the debuffs. But in regular world exploration, it's not really the case, where like you need to focus on a lot of different other things instead of trying to just make matcha work. Alright, so a lot of these cookies did receive a little bit of a magic candy here and there, but still, now that that also has been a while, it's kind of outdated. Someone like Latte is more fit towards PvP. T-Knight also is very for PvP, but his magic candy did die off after becoming a absolute beast inside of the arena for a long time. So that is going to be the case. Now moving on to the A tier is going to be from Pattaya Dragon all the way down to Licorice. So a lot of these cookies too, they are viable. They are decently good, but I would say still like focus more towards the higher tiers if you guys can, because of the fact that the higher tiers just fit better with the current state of the game. They're more new, they're more of that kind of, you know, they have better skills as of right now compared to some of these guys. The ones that were really good back in the days were like Cotton, Licorice, especially because of their summon units, but now that really doesn't really matter too. You just want really good damage dealers, you want burst damage, you want a skill that, you know, either clears out a lot of mobs at once, or you know, you just want those kind of newer skills. And that's kind of how the state of the game is as of right now. So hopefully again, certain cookies can receive some love down the line, but as world exploration and BCs gets harder, I just think that that's how the game is going to continue to go. And the next one is going to be the situational. Situationals are the cookies that, you know, can be used for specific stages. Again, like 16-10 requires you to have a zap effect if possible to get rid of the HP shields. You want certain cookies to have healing reduction. some have Purify and stuff like that. So the zap effects from the regular Dark Cacao and Shining Glitter. And then we have Healing Reduction from Pumpkin Pie. You have Purify from Herb. And then Almond as well as Caramel Shoe. And our Pomegranate, our Attack, Link, and just flat out buff for the beginning players really. And then we have BTS, who is really just there because some people still might have BTS coming back from the game. Can't just exclude it, so it's more of a situational. If you have and you want to use, then you guys can try and use. All right, moving on to the S tier here, guys, is going to be from Moonlight down to our Linzer, and then we have Mint Choco and Nutmeg Tiger. All right, so I actually brought down Nutmeg Tiger to S tier, then SS tier, because you know, Nutmeg Tiger is actually really good, but more towards the offensive side. So that is one little downside, because you actually need to attack in order to heal. So there's that little side that I would say personally kind of just works a little bit less than just having a flat out support. So there's that. A lot of people were talking about how like isn't prune juice like really good as well. But yeah, I mean, prune juice is really good, but again, was for guild boss battles and a lot more of the event side of things nowadays. The little summon unit for the prune jellies, like it's good, but a lot of the stages nowadays, you know, that just is not going to be enough, right? Older stages very good, but newer stages not as good as it was before. So again, we're really focusing on that burst damage, trying to delete the mobs as soon as possible, because those mobs will shred through your team really quickly in the harder stages. So there's that. And besides that, you know, as you can see right now, Moonlight is probably in my opinion, kind of the weakest legendary inside of the PvE section, World Aspiration, because of the fact that you do have the weakness and you have a bit of burst, but weakness you get from other cookies as well, and things like that. So there is that downside. The only real good thing really that I can think of for PvE section with Moonlight is the sleep, the weakness debuff if you need it, and then the debuff resist that you get from the Crystal Gem. So I guess I will leave that to you guys as a debate that you guys could do if you guys would like to talk about that. But moving on to the SS tier now is going to be from Stormbringer down to Smoked Cheese, and then we have Frill Jellyfish down to Peppermint. Alright, so I did bring up Peach Blossom, Star Coral, and Peppermint up to the SS tier. They're actually really good. I did kind of put them a lot lower than they should be in the previous tier list, so I am fixing that now. And they are a very solid support. Like these cookies, I guess Star Coral was used for like PvP for a little bit, but a lot of these cookies were designed to be really good for the PvE session, allowing you to either survive a lot longer with the buffs, or just do a little bit more damage or a lot more damage with someone like Star Coral. So we do have that. So we have from Stormbringer, we have Star Coral, we have White Lily, we have Frost Queen with the Crystal Gem, Golden Cheese Awakened form, and non-awakened form, kind of very similar for PvE in my opinion, just because of the fact that yes, you do have a bit more damage, you do have a bit more of those like buffs that you get and stuff like that, but compared to someone like, you know, Burning Spice as well as Wind Archer, I would say not as OP. And then we have Black Pearl, Sea Fairy, we have the duo for the debuff immunity, we have the debuff immunity support, we have some massive debuff and damage, we have some straight up boss killer right there, and then we have the two safeguard specials, and then we have pure vanilla, cream puff, and smoked cheese, and frill jellyfish, very similar to the last reasoning that I had for these cookies. And the last one is gonna be the OP tier from Burning Spice all the way down to Cream Ferret. So I did add Cream Ferret to the OP tier. I think it is deserved. Cream Ferret is a very solid support cookie here, guys, as a special that everybody is able to eventually get. And then of course we do have the the usual cookies that are absolutely OP inside of Deep World Exploration. Really, they clear a lot really well, and they're just really strong. So we do have that, and now let's move on to adding the new cookies. All right, so first of all, it's gonna be the Red Osmanthus. I'm gonna put a Red Osmanthus in like A tier or something like that. Just very decent, but again, very outdated skill, as you guys were able to see. And then that's probably where I'm gonna also put Golden Osmanthus. Their skills are very fair, like not great, not OP, not terrible, but just fair, just viable if you guys really want to use it. Camillia, I will put S tier. I mean, the buff removal and stuff is honestly speaking a little bit more towards the PvP section, which he really doesn't, shine in. But he is decent. He does have like weakness debuffs, stuns, and stuff like that too. Of course, he is a pretty decent cookie to use inside of the guild boss battle, but that's again different section. So we do have that. And then moving on is going to be our Choco Drizzle. So I'm gonna actually put Choco Drizzle. So this is where I'm thinking Choco Drizzle is going to be either like a S tier or an SS tier, but I personally think S tier fits a little bit more for Choco Drizzle. Very good, does a lot of damage, and honestly speaking, I really feel like Choco Drizzle is geared towards like PvP section as well, but still is able to perform. So I'll put Choco Drizzle in S tier. And then we have Green Tea Mousse. I'm actually going to put Green Tea Mousse in like SS tier as of right now and leave it up to you guys for debate. I personally think as a new epic deserves a good kind of high rating as a pretty darn good epic tank. Of course, compared to someone like Financier with the Magic Candy, not going to perform as well as Financier, just because of the fact that Financier has really good like buffs, and the one big thing is the debuff immunity. But we have taunt, we have damage resistance increase, we have healing, we have all stuns. We have a lot of things going on for the Green Tea Mousse, which actually is what you want to see from a tank like her. So I want to put her into the SS tier because she is pretty worth it for a lot of the newer players, especially if you guys are starting off or returning players to pull and actually use her inside of World Exploration. And the last one is actually going to be putting out a mode, putting it into the OP tier. So putting out a mode is actually really good, especially if you guys are comboing it with someone like Black Lemonade and even adding Twizzly Gummy to the team as well. The new kind of Cookie Alliance team is now turning into that, with putting out a mode actually doing just massive amount of damage. So I will be making a video on that hopefully soon. But yeah, I had one of my former guild member kind of share what they were able to do, and bam, putting out a mode is just actually OP right now. So I am going to kind of leave it at that now, guys, and that is pretty much what we have going on. I mean, putting out a mode is doing great. A lot of the cookies that we have gotten are doing fairly well compared to before. And I will have to say that is going to wrap it up for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have any question, if you guys want to add anything, please leave it down in the comments below. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys all on the next video.